right, everybody. Welcome to a new episode of the JT Podcast. JT Exchange Podcast, where we fill you in on all that is SU track and field. We are outside today. It is a nice day out. Outdoor track has come, and when we are here, we're going to be hosting our first outdoor meet of the season coming up, so we decided we'd go outside. I got Coach Weir with me today. How you doing?
Doing well. How are you doing?
I'm doing just fine. And Coach Heuler, you're back.
Yes, I am.
Oh, your mic is not turned up. Let's try that again.
I am back.
There you go.
There you go.
She loves being on the podcast, and this was a surprise. I did not, let her know we were doing this till about 10 minutes ago. So what we're going to get into today is we're going to, quickly rip through a recap of this past weekend, the Lebanon Valley Mini Meet, and then we'll do a quick preview of the upcoming JT duels. Let's get into it. Early, March 21st, I think it was, first time we've competed that early in a really long time.
Yep.
Went down to Lebanon Valley. They just got their track resurfaced, and they were gracious enough to allow us to come. Small meet, 4 or 5 teams. What was your first impressions of the facility, Coach Weir?
Obviously it's always nice when you have facilities get brand new surfaces. I think it was a pretty nice location. Track was pretty nice, pretty fast, so I was fairly pleased. Throws area was a little bit far away, but that happens.
Yeah, I'm used to Western New York, where you go to Fisher, and it's like a half mile away. University of Rochester, the same thing. You got to take vans to get there. So it was, a little over the river, through the woods kind of esque.
Yes, literally.
But Coach Heuler, what about you? What did you think of the space?
Yeah, I thought the track itself was nice. The Jav runway was really nice. Our kids liked to be on it, considering it was the first meet of the season, and they got to throw on a brand new surface. But like you guys said, having to walk a half mile from Javelin all the way to Disc and Hammer, it was a lot. I got a lot of turf in my shoes doing that.
I'm not going to complain. It was the weather was pretty decent. It was, I think, mid-50s, if I remember correctly, sunny. Not too windy, a little bit, but it flipped around as outdoor track will do. But overall, pretty good performance from a lot of people. We traveled some people that don't usually get the opportunity to. I know we rested all of our athletes that competed at the regional championships and those that went on to nationals. But a lot of success kind of all across the board. Coach Weir, why don't you highlight some of the sprinters, hurdlers?
Yeah. Like you said, we got to have a group that doesn't get to travel that often, which was really nice to see them get the opportunity to compete. And I think that as a whole, both the men's and women's program, took advantage of the opportunity. We had quite a few season bests, some PRs, so it was really nice to see. On the women's side of things, somebody that I haven't really talked about a whole lot, Megan and Akaya have been performing very well over the indoor season, and it transferred over into outdoor. So that was really nice to see. They've been putting in the work, and things are starting to click for them. So that was really nice to see. Ashley opened up pretty well, running faster, almost PRs, but running faster than she ever has at this point in the season, so that was pretty nice. And then we got a couple guys back from some injuries with Jordan, and Nate was dealing with some stuff throughout the indoor season, so it was nice to see them get an opportunity to compete. And from a hurdle standpoint, we didn't have a lot of hurdlers. Most of our hurdlers were competing at the regional meet, so it was nice to get some of those kids an opportunity. But a lot of younger kids, so it's always interesting, transitioning from the 60 hurdles indoor to the either 100 hurdles or 110. Adding 5 extra hurdles can be a little daunting, especially when you're an underclassman.
Yeah, I know I always put you on the spot. It's hard to look at your phone and go through results. We didn't really prep for this, but Ryan Sullivan had a really good day.
Yes, he did.
He opened faster than he's opened in a while.
Yeah, 52.61, I believe, and then he had a phenomenal 200. After that. So, he's one that he's always kind of dealt with some hamstring injuries periodically through the season. So it was really nice to see him get an opportunity and really, show up and perform very, very well for us.
Yeah, I know that from the jump side, I'm really pleased with Gabe LaGrossa, first-year jumper. He battled some stuff indoor. worked hard. I think he's starting to come around. He
Yeah.
he had a season best both indoor and now outdoor. Obviously, the first meet, a 650, which was great for him. I know he was happy for it, and I think hopefully it's a precursor to show what's coming for the rest of the year. But from the distance side, we had a large group of 1,500 runners that did a good job, competing. I know that they didn't offer a lot of distance races this weekend. 1,500 and 3K were the only events they really offered for distance. And since the 3,000 isn't an event that we run in champs or in conference, we decided just to focus on the 15.
Yeah.
Some mid-distance runners went down there, ran some 4s, a couple 4x4s. But definitely a lot of the bright spots from the weekend, I think, came from the throws.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Coach Heuler, why don't you start with the men, and then we'll kind of work over. And I know Showstead was over with a certain group, and you were with another group. But do your best to kind of run through who you think the highlights were.
So I think overall, it was a really big day for throws. It was one of our only opportunities to bring a huge group of the throwers, and I think a lot of them took advantage of it. On the men's side, they're almost all first years except our few javelin guys. So it was a good time to get to watch them throw for the first time with all the collegiate weights, because it is an adjustment. Coming outside, all of them got used to throwing the discus and the shot put in high school where it was at different weights, and now coming up to college, it gets heavier. So transitioning from indoor to outdoor, the shot put changes. It goes from a plastic to a metal. So shot put went decently as expected to that transition. It was really nice in discus. First year Cooper Bordorf. I don't know if I Bodorf. I don't know how to say that. I don't know.
Copper bottom. I don't
Copper
know.
bottom. Yeah.
Bottom.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Sorry, Copper. But he did phenomenal in discus. He threw just over 40 meters, and that was a really nice thing to see. And he's been working hard at that because discus is his event. So I'm excited to see where he goes. Moving to hammer, Kieran had a really great day. Also a first year. He really showed up, and he threw over 40 in the hammer. In discus, our guys did really well as well. Javelin, huge day for freshman John Hughes. He threw 54, qualified himself for regionals off the rip. So I'm excited to see where he goes, especially because he's been battling a UCL injury. We got to be careful with that. So hopefully that holds up.
Yeah, I think it was definitely a very good, quiet day. Not really people knew what was going on. They were so far away. A lot of the men's throwing events, sorry for the wind, it is a bit windy out here. A lot of the men's throwing events were first earlier in the day, so there wasn't a ton of people around when they were throwing. But like you said, some really great performances from some of the younger guys. And hopefully it's just a sign of, what the future is the next few years here at SU with the men's throws. Transitioning over to the women, though, how did they do?
Starting off the day, we had javelin. It was very windy over there, and javelin and wind don't always go together. So it was a little bit less than what we wanted to across the board. But I think it also, like you said, for the men, it's going to be a good precursor to see where they end up at the end of the year. From there, we went to shot put. Ava Lathers threw 9 meters for the first time, so watching her get excited for that was huge. But same thing, they transitioned from the indoor shot to the outdoor shot, so that's a bit of a change. So it wasn't as great as we wanted there, but disc and hammer were really great. This wind is killing me over here. But disc and hammer. Danny Phillips, first year, she won the discus throw and had a good PR there. And then we had some good performances in hammer throw with Catherine coming out of swimming. Hasn't really got to practice indoor where most of these guys had weight under their belt, so the footwork's the same. She did not, so for her to come out and throw hammer that well was really nice to see.
Yeah, overall it was a great day. I know at the end of the day is when the women were competing, a lot of the team was there to support them, which was really nice. And again, some bright spots. Danny, like as you said, had a really good weekend. Hopefully that continues. And to transition into this coming weekend, we have the JT duels. As many of you know, JT Exchange is in honor of Jim Taylor. He's the GOAT. He's the godfather of Susquehanna Track and Field. And, for years, his legacy was built on how many, dual meets he won in a row. That was a thing back then. Obviously now dual meets aren't really a thing as much as they were in the past. So last year after he passed away, we did decide to change the meet to the JT duels in honor of Jim Taylor. We did implement a team trophy for the top men's and women's team. We'll have 10 teams here this weekend, and all 10 teams will compete unofficially head-to-head. It'll be run as an invitational. And then the winning team gets a cool trophy. And additionally, we have the JT Memorial 4x4, which will take place at the end of the meet. There's also a trophy involved for the top men's and women's 4x4. Just like duels, JT was a big relay guy. He had some extremely strong 4x4 relays back in the day, in the late 80s, mid 80s with Spangler and those guys. So we just wanted to honor him, honor JT's legacy. Weather's looking okay. Turn your mic back on, Weir, because you're the culprit with the wind.
Yeah.
What are you expecting? We're looking probably 45 degrees-ish, sunny. It's going to be pretty much just like this.
Yeah.
To me, this feels fine. I know I'm in shorts and in a hoodie right now, but I'm pretty comfortable. What are you excited for? What are you looking for? What's just your outlook for the weekend?
I think this is always a pretty special meet, and I think that obviously the opportunity for our team to compete at home is always a big thing. They run on this track every day when we get to outdoor, so it's always nice to have that home competition. And then you throw the memorial to JT on top of that. I think a lot of our kids who knew him, were impacted by him, and I think that the kids that don't necessarily know him know of his legacy. So that kind of gives them a little bit extra motivation, and they want to represent Susquehanna well. So I think that we're going to have some pretty good performances. I'm a 4-hurdle guy. That was my event in college, so I'm very excited to see what some of our 400 hurdlers can do. And obviously 4x4 is a great event, so that one's, I think, going to be pretty special. But I think it's hopefully the weather holds out for us, because JT's been hit or miss some years, so hopefully it stays like this. This is manageable, but I think it's going to be hopefully a pretty good day for us.
Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong. Is this where we went 312 last year, or is that later on in the year?
That was later in the season. That was at I think conference championships. Yeah,
that's right. I know we had a really good battle with Lock Haven.
Yes,
which was a really exciting race that we had. Coach Heuler, what about you? This will be your first JT experience, I guess. I know, we're both Brockport alumnus, and I came to JT. JT's been an invite since the 90s probably. And as an athlete at Brockport, I competed at the JT invite. I don't believe you ever did.
No, the only time I've ever competed at Susquehanna was when we hosted the AARTFC, in 2023, I believe?
22, probably.
Yeah.
I don't remember the exact date.
Yeah.
But what are you, excited to see, this weekend?
Sort of similar to what Weir said. Our kids' energy is what I'm most excited to see. Watching them compete all indoor, every time we were competing at home, they always brought good energy. And I think, like you said, with the memorial being the reason we kind of have the meet, it's going to bring a lot of energy. And home meets are always easier. The kids don't have to wake up super early and get on a bus, and they'll come right here, and they'll just have great energy from the beginning, and I think that's going to really show in their performances.
Yeah, I think from all across the day, and the meet does start on Friday with the men's hammer, women's shot, and then they flip. Friday at 2 o'clock is when we'll get that underway. I'm excited to see alumni. This is also our senior day.
Yeah.
So a lot of families will be on campus. We'll do our senior recognition ceremony around 1 o'clock on Saturday. A lot of alumni are planning to come back. I know Coach Showstead, he set up the alumni event post. So if you're still interested and you want to go to the post JT duels alumni reception, please just get a hold of us. We'll add you to the list. But just seeing all the alumni come back and support one another, and hopefully some of JT's family can make it out. It's usually it's a lot of work. Don't get me wrong.
Yes.
But it's usually a really fun day. With a track meet that's actually going on, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Hopefully the weather, continues to tick up with temperatures, and the wind is a good tailwind for the events that we want it to be.
Yep.
But all in all, I'm excited to compete at home. We don't got a lot of opportunities this year. But yeah, it's hopefully going to be a good day.
I think it will be.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you guys for joining me.
Absolutely.
I apologize for the wind. This was my idea, so you can blame me. I also can't see my computer screen, so I'm not going to play the outro music. I'm going to play a different one. But this has been the JT Exchange podcast. If you can make it this weekend, JT Duels will start Friday at 2. Saturday will get underway at 9 a.m. with the 10K and the discus. So please stop on by. If not, follow us on Instagram. Check the link in our bio for live results, or follow us on Flow Sports. It's been the JT Exchange podcast.
Thank you, guys. Oh. Can't see the board.